Welcome to Staffing Stories, hosted by Andy Moss. Andy has been in the staffing industry for over 25 years, first as a recruiter, then eventually an account manager and business owner. This is the podcast where we sit down with fellow staffing owners to get the real stories of the successes, the failures, and the lessons learned along the way.
I am back with another episode of Staffing Stories, and I'm excited this week. And just if you have enjoyed this podcast, please like and share it with other individuals in the staffing world and the community, and we would appreciate that. And I would encourage you to always look for a mentor in this world. So with that, I'm going to introduce my guest for this week, Mr. Brandon Smith. And he's my Louisiana brother from another mother. And I'm glad you're here with us, Brandon.
Well, good to be on. Thanks, Andy.
All right. Hey, tell me, for those of you that doesn't know your famous face, can you kind of just introduce yourself to everybody and kind of your business, and then we can kind of get into this.
Yeah, Andy, thanks again for having me. Brandon Smith, owner of Flexicrew Technical Services. We're headquartered here in Metairie, Louisiana, which is a suburb of New Orleans. And our firm was founded in 2015. And we are a technical, professional talent acquisition recruiting firm. So, so 2015 to now, and it's been a great ride.
I know it has. I know your story a little bit because we kind of know each other, but I know this week, unfortunately, Florida's been dealing with a massive hurricane that's come through, and our thoughts and prayers are with everybody in that region. But your region's been affected by hurricanes in the past, and I know that kind of plays into kind of how you got into staffing. But hey, walk me through that story.
Yeah, so Andy, you and I, as we know, we met through Aerotech. We both worked together, and I was working in Houston and sitting in the pit doing recruiting, and my boss at the time came to the pit. Hurricane Katrina had just made landfall, and Aerotech at the time was getting a response team to come down to New Orleans to help service that. And at the time, I think I had about a year and a half of experience, and young at the time, and raised my hand and volunteered. And little did I know that would change a lot for me. I think it started the journey.
Yeah, responding to a natural disaster and individuals that are in the staffing and recruiting world, I mean, we're a big part of the response. There are so many temporary employees that kind of pop up with, helping clean up, with search and rescue. Kind of tell us some of the behind the scenes of responding to a disaster like that for those that had never done that.
So we got in from Houston and went to Baton Rouge on this particular one, and had an RV. So as you can imagine, when disaster strikes, there's not a lot of amenities to have, like hotels and things like that. So we were a mobile command center in an RV, living in an RV, and recruiting people to go help with the cleanup. So I mean, there's a lot of different positions that can be had, within a disaster. The beginning is a lot of the cleanup crews that would be 40-hour HAZWOPers, which have to be certified, debris monitors, et cetera. So there's a lot of stuff that moves very fast, and you're working in an environment that is kind of makeshift, right? It's figuring it out and getting people fast because they're needed, and sometimes challenging times of connecting and things like that.
And you were indoctrinated to the that's back in the day when we didn't have paperwork online, and I can imagine fax machines are running 24/7 if I remember correctly, because we were not part of the response team, but we were hearing stories of what you guys were doing.
Yeah, so we had a good team, and we were involved in a lot of that cleanup, and it was a lot.
So with Flexicrew, just getting with FTS and starting that business, being a staffing owner is difficult. Several of the people that have been on here have some amazing kind of background to do this, but you kind of took that leap. I think you got introduced to your partner, but walk me through that one.
Yeah, so 2000, you got to go back to like 2009. The economy was in bad shape, and a lot of layoffs and things like that. So I had the opportunity to connect with somebody that had just started a staffing company over in Mobile, Alabama, and he gave me an opportunity, and along with myself and a handful of other people, the timing was right, and we really grew that business. It was more of an industrial staffing firm, and I think it grew to about $50 million. And really, what we were doing, Andy, is we were getting a lot of calls about engineering and just professional and technical type stuff that we just didn't do. So the thought process was, hey, let's start a technical staffing company. So myself and those owners, we came up with an idea, and we launched Flexicrew Technical Services (FTS) in 2015 with an idea and one employee.
And the roller coaster begins. I mean, do you have any stories around just, for me, there's key points in my career where I just clearly made a mistake and I learned from them. Are there anything that you go back through and you just, notice that, I could do better here?
A young entrepreneur, I think you're learning a lot, and I think some of the risk might seem a little bit too risky. So I would say, far as when we first started, I wish I took a little bit more risk and grew a little faster, quicker.
We're having some technical difficulties, Brandon. I'm sorry about that. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, there we go. We got you back. With, risk, there's reward, and trying to grow too quickly. For me, in my experience, I tried to grow as fast as I could. You can outgrow cash. You can outgrow a lot of your support staff. And I was just like you. I didn't want to take on too much risk. I tried to try to grow at a pace that was controllable. But in staffing and recruiting, there's some things we just can't control. The more recs you get, the more you want to grow. And right now, that's the way our both businesses are going. Is we're having to say no to business, which is crazy. Is that what you're facing as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think with that growth too, Andy, comes a little bit too with the culture, right? To where you're figuring that out, and you're building teams and you're learning a lot. So I think that figuring that out is challenging. But yeah, I mean, in the time that we're in now, it's an employee market. There's a lot of requisitions out there on those, so it is challenging. So I think it's just making sure you're aligned and trying to set the right expectations with the client, providing the tools for the team to be successful. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely challenging, but we're working through it, and it's we're having a really good year.
So we talked about hiring a little bit on this show, and things that work, things that don't. When you're looking at hiring a recruiter or even an account manager, what are things that you look for?
Yeah, so I think you look at something that can be a transferable skill. So people, right? We're in the people business. So someone that has been around people, whether that might be in the retail industry or in the restaurant industry, things like that. So I think having the passion for people is super important, and really just the ability to learn and just have that will to succeed, right? So in this business, it's a big roller coaster of highs and lows, and I think being able to get through those highs and lows is just really important. So somebody that just has a like for people, and really an aptitude and ability to learn is huge.
So do you like to hire individuals with no experience right out of college, or do you like to find those recruiters with experience um, that may come with a year, 2, 3 years? Where's your success been with that?
So, we'll do a little bit of both, but I would say the folks that, we bring in that, get trained with us and, we train up has been very successful. And then also, we've had a lot of success too with bringing people in that, that do have experience and, that jump right in and, help with our growth. So we've had both, but I think probably the most success that we've had is the development of those team members.
So for those that manage multiple offices, I've tended to stay with my company in one office, one general location. You have multiple offices. How has that been? I mean, is that a struggle, or have you added tools to help manage that? Encourage us with some of the things there.
Yes, I think it's been great. We have teams in multiple markets. So Andy, just so you guys know, and the audience knows that we pretty much operate from Texas through Florida and up into Tennessee and Georgia a little bit. But we really like to be in the markets that we serve. Building those partnerships locally with those clients. So it's worked well for us. I think with Teams and Zoom and the technology that we use, everybody can stay in the loop. Everybody can stay connected, and then we'll also bring the team in. We just did a summit a couple of weeks ago that we brought all the team members in and spent some time together and things like that. So yeah, I mean, we like the fact that, like I said, that we're in the markets that we serve, and those relationships, can be built.
When you brought your team in, do you do this annually, or how do you walk through your planning to next year? We're having a little technical difficulties, Brandon. So if you walk into your planning for next year and you brought your team in, how do you do those planning sessions? Did you bring a instructor in, or do you run them yourself?
Yeah, so we absolutely hired a facilitator that came in, and that was really important to us, and we've used her before. She just does a phenomenal job. And Andy, really, the message on that was, being in the talent acquisition, recruiting, and staffing space right now, it's tough. It is a lot of hard work. That roller coaster is going up and it's going down, it's going up. So, we just really wanted to spend the time with the team, and, really two takeaways on there of, defining our core values, and then also keeping your tank full, right? Your tank management, right? For you to operate at the level that you need to, your tank needs to be full. And, that was really the big topic of that, is keeping your tank full. And then, just spending time together, spending time together as a team.
There's no better way to build a team of just spending with each other and doing events and getting to know, especially if you have remote recruiters and account managers. I know behind every great business owner is a spouse that's pretty special. Well, tell me a little bit about yours.
Oh yeah, no, she's great to be supportive, and she's definitely been there, when we talk about the roller coaster, the highs and the lows, but she's been fantastic. And just to add to that, Andy, we as a family, decided to buy out our partners last year and take on the full ownership of this company as of last year. So it was a big commitment, and it's been going great.
Well, I know when I bought my business partners out, that was a story in itself, and it's I won't get into mine, but I know that it's great to have partners, and I'd say pick partners like you pick your wife or your spouse. That's probably the most important advice I could ever give anybody when it comes to that. I had unbelievable partners, so that buyout was pretty amicable and it worked. But I've heard stories of just train wrecks. But I mean, I think yours was a pretty good one from what I remember.
Oh yeah, absolutely fantastic. So when I look at my mentor in this business, my partner, kind of got my start into with his business, and it was a family business as well. Him and his wife, and we worked hand in hand for 13 years of building his first business, and then as partners together on the second business. So it was almost like a graduating high school when that handoff happened. But they were great partners. They were supportive. Great partnership.
Well, we're so glad that you were on Staffing Stories today, and we really appreciate you carving time out on this weekday to do this, and I appreciate it, bud.
Yeah, thanks, Andy.
All right, thanks, Brandon.
The Staffing Stories podcast is brought to you by 3DIQ, founded by recruiters for recruiters. 3DIQ's industry-leading product suite complements your submission process in Bullhorn from start to finish and helps you deliver a cutting-edge customer experience. Triple your placements with our powerful resume submission platform, candidate marketing, and client portal. Visit 3diq.com/stories to learn more.